How are you going to take the people who are loyal to you, and how are you going to make them better at what they do? How are you going to help them to improve their skills? So I think these are the big questions that the CEOs are asking every day, and they come to their management team and they say, how are we going to do this? How are we going to make this happen? And the management team is looking at HR and saying, you are the people. Help me make these people. Help me make more skilled people. Help me recruit more people. Help me get people to come to our company. And honestly, HR is going, how do I do this? I don't know how to do this. I don't know what to do. Everything we used to do doesn't work so well anymore. It's, for many places, it's okay still. Maybe here in Malaysia right now, it's not too bad. But in 5 years, it will be a big problem. So I think the point of my little talk today is maybe many of these things are not happening today in Malaysia, but they will be happening in 5 years from today, and you should be prepared for this now. And I think that you are very lucky to have the opportunity to have maybe a 5-year period to develop some of these things before this becomes a big problem for your country and for your companies. So, but the answer to all of that question the CEO has are talented, skilled employees. Where am I going to get talented, skilled employees? And this is a huge challenge. Many of you probably have heard of Jack Welch. He was the chairman and the CEO of General Electric Corporation for 20 years. He retired a few years ago. But he said the number one thing in his mind all the time, it's not money, it's not the new products, it's not selling, it's none of those things. His biggest concern is the employee education. Without that, we have no company. And if we think about it, we don't, all the employees that we need today need to be educated. Maybe 20 or 30 years ago, we could go to the village and bring in someone who's not educated, and they can learn to do it quickly. Not so anymore. Now they must have more education. They must know more than they did before. So I think the corporations have made some assumptions about this. Most corporations have said things like, high school is enough. That's all our employees need. Or maybe a university education is enough. And many people believe, especially baby boomers, that when they finish their university, they don't have to learn anymore. Done. I got my degree, and now I can just work the rest of my life. Unfortunately, that's not true, because things change so quickly that you constantly have to learn new skills. You have to have new abilities and learn new things. So where do you do that if you're an adult? If you're working for a company, and you know that you need new skills, maybe you need to learn how to use the computer, maybe you need to learn whatever. Where do you go? And for many employees, there's no place to go to learn. So they believe they could just provide you training about how to do the job. I just teach you one thing, and that's all I need to do at the company. But now we're learning that we must teach people much, much more than that. They must learn a lot more than just how to do their job. They have to learn much more. And, you know, nothing changed much in the past. I used to work in the semiconductor industry, and for many years I worked there. And for maybe 20 years, things changed, yes, but they changed slowly, and it wasn't too fast. So we could educate people slowly about how to do the things that have changed. Today, everything changes instantly. Overnight, things are different and new. Suddenly, there's a new product. Suddenly, there's a new computer program, and people must learn how to use that right away, very, very quickly. So speed is different. Things are much faster today than they used to be. And we've already been talking about the fact that your employees mostly were loyal to you, and mostly they live right here locally. And now you're finding that we have a global talent market, and that the employees are not loyal. They will go work for someone else for more money. So these are the challenges that changes when they come? And I think the answer is going to be, a lot of it is going to be the corporate university, which is the common company. So there's a lot of things to that. I think we can realize that high school and university is not adequate. Not enough. You need more than that, and in fact, you never stop learning. Never. You must learn continuously until you die. You have to go and learn with it. Organizations have to provide much better training than they have. Much deeper training, much more useful training than they have provided in the past. And they need to provide it to everyone, not just the production worker, but they need to provide it to management and to everyone in the company. I think that we've already talked about most of these things. I don't think I need to talk about these anymore. But this whole idea of rapidly training people is another concept. So down here I say the need for rapid training and development. If you have people leaving your company frequently, then how do I train them very, very quickly to do what I need to have them to do? So the other component is speed of learning. How do we increase the speed of learning? And there's a lot of things that you have to ask, why does university education take 4 years? Why not 2 years? Why not 1 year? Why 4? Who invented 4? Why not 5 or 6? Okay? So where did 4 come from? I don't know. Okay? This is just the habits that we just have. But we don't really know why. And so I think one of the challenges I have is, how can you learn faster? How can I take my employees and teach them in 1 year or 1 month instead of in 3 months or 6 months or whatever? So speed of learning is also important. And I think looking at the things that we just assume are normal, like 4 years for school, and say why. We have to ask why. And understand the reasons why. Or if there's no good reason, then change it. I think we have to look at that and say, should we change these things if there's no good reason for it? But we have to have to ask the question first, and then you can begin to find the answers. So I think today's corporate education has mostly been for a manufacturing world. Most all companies in the world have been manufacturing companies. Okay? They make some kind of product, a car, a semiconductor, a table, a chair, something. But that's changing. That's changing very quickly. If you look at America, what percentage of America of the workers in America do manufacturing? Any idea? What percentage in the United States? Of all the workers, what percentage work in manufacturing? Anybody want to guess? How many? 60? Yeah. Any other? 10%? You're very close. Yeah. A little less than 10%. About 9% of the people work in manufacturing. In agriculture, 2%. 2% in farming, and 7 or 8% in manufacturing. What do the rest do? They work in information services, things like computers or programming or services, okay, or selling things. They work in what we call the service sector or the information sector. Okay. This is going to happen in Malaysia too. Okay. It's already happening in Malaysia. It's happening in Singapore right now. Look at Singapore. 5 years ago, it was almost all manufacturing. And what is Singapore changing to today? It's changing to be a financial center, and they're focusing on financial services, banking. This is the future of Singapore. And the manufacturing that used to be in Singapore is now there. Malaysia and China and India, other places in the world. Okay? It's no longer